Thank you for joining me. As always, your presence is appreciated. I hope everyone is having a wonderful holidays. This week, the book is called The Crimson Cord by Eileen Smith. And this story is centered around a woman named Rahab. And I hope I pronounced that right. We all know how I am with names. The story is set in biblical times and is derived from the story in the Bible. The author does a good job of providing descriptives that give you a feel for that era. The story goes on a journey of Rahab's life. Rahab was married to a man that used to be in the king's army that was honorably discharged, as how we would say it now, after saving the king's life. Rahab's husband then became a gambler and a man of many shortcomings. The story goes into how Rahab became a slave, a prostitute, and a pawn of men. It also describes the plight of Rahab leading up to her assisting the spies of Israel and how that event changed her life. The rebirth of Rahab due to her faith and belief in God is explained in this book. I haven't heard the story of Rahab in this particular way. I admit I was appalled at times while reading the story regarding the treatment of Rahab by the men she encountered. The way women and Rahab was treated just doesn't sit well with me, but it was the times these people lived in. However, I saw similarities in how the men of that time and now think about women and their role in society. Overall, the story was told in a tasteful manner that gave one food for thought. It is what it is, and the story didn't sugarcoat it completely, but was respectful and didn't make things over salacious. The story gave a perspective of what Rahab was thinking and feeling through her life's journey. Part of this was relatable in her quest for God's love and acceptance, and also her thoughts on how she was being viewed by the Israelite females. I would say newcomers of faith may have similar feelings and thoughts. I will let you read the book to find out how the author crafted this story. As I said, this story is derived from the biblical one, the story of Rahab. I say it's an imaginal expansion of the story. Obviously, the author has taken the biblical story and expanded with additional narrative and perspective. I have not researched to see which parts are specific details from the Bible and which parts the author embellished to create a good story. I would gather the author has taken some imaginary license and their own perspective on the thoughts and comments the characters would have had. Again, I'm not going to debate the religious basis or anything like that. You take what you take from it. There can be many takeaways from the reading of this book. There could be many ways of looking at this story, and you may come to a conclusion someone else may not have, but it is a good read. The couple of takeaways I got from reading this book were, no matter who you are or what you've been through, God can use the lowest of the low and the highest of the high for his goodwill. That God can and will forgive us for our sins and wash us clean. That we are all here for a reason, and when it's our turn to do the work of the Lord, have faith that He has given you everything you need to succeed. I would venture to say this would be a great read for a religious study group to dissect. The reading of this story can bring up many questions regarding religion, practices, level of faith, and among other things, as well as insight. Although there isn't any discussion questions provided by the author, there is an author's note which gives some insight on the writing of this book, as well as questions the author herself asked when writing this book. That may give you a little bit of insight on the perspective and where the author was coming from when creating this story. I believe the author has written other books derived from biblical stories that you may want to check out. I truly enjoyed reading this book. Although, at the time, I had the hard copy and the audiobook version. So I actually listened to the audiobook version even though I had the hard copy in my hand. So the audiobook version, in my opinion, brought the story a little bit more to life. I am not quite sure if I would have liked it so much if I had read the hard copy. It's hard to say, but I definitely liked the audiobook version. The narrator definitely gave it another layer, which I enjoyed. So, all in all, I give this book a 5 out of 5. I suggest you go pick it up and read it. So, subscribe, click like, share, tell a friend. If you've read the book, comment your thoughts. I would like to know what you think about this book. And until next time, keep turning the pages, my book lovers.